Yo, how's it going? I'm Javi, and in this video we're going to talk about the 4 core departments in your business and what are the things you got to focus on if you want to get to at least 30, 20K months. Again, the reason why I do this video is it should give you guys as much value as possible for free so you can start, grow, and scale your funding company to 10, 20, even 30K months with the free information I'm giving you guys, all right? So as tradition, if you do like the value that I'm giving you, please hit subscribe and like the video. I'm gonna be putting out at least 2 times or once a week, every single week. All right. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to show you is the marketing department, and that's for me the most important because without marketing, there is no business. There's no customers. There's no leads. So we're pretty much screwed if we don't have this on point. Which when you work with us, this is the first thing that we help you solve is the client acquisition problem. That's the first thing we help you solve when you join my program because without this, there is no client. Right? So the first thing we solve is marketing. Now, this could be a bunch of different things. What is marketing? For those of you who don't know, for me, marketing is the process between a stranger, to get to know your product, to get to know your product. So, what is marketing? Right? So for those who you're asking, the process of getting a stranger to not only buy from you but keep buying. So that's what marketing essentially does. It's pretty much to nurture the lead to get it from one point to the other by using marketing, which is we're going to go into detail exactly what that means right now in a second, right? So the process of a stranger to not only buy from you but keep buying. And how do we do that? So there's multiple ways that we could do marketing. So there's paid ads. So that's kind of the main thing that I focus on. Well, not the main thing, but that's how I started getting all my leads. Now we do other leads sources, but that was the main thing. So paid ads. Another one is content. Another one is literally, we could go on and on. It could be funnels. Well, that's not really marketing. That's just kind of how you capture your lead. Per, let's say, lead nurturing. So that'll be some of the things that I will consider marketing to be. Of course, we could go very, very deep on this because marketing is just not these 3 things. It's just this is a form of marketing: paid ads, content. So I'll put media. Yeah, we could go. It's just so much that we could go into, um, and what exactly means marketing, right? What is the next now more important thing? So once you get marketing, which is, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put it in simpler terms. Marketing, getting new clients. So that's essentially what I'm just gonna boil it down to that. What is marketing? Getting new clients and clients to get to who you are, for they could keep buying you over and over again, right? So I'm actually going to put it right under this. What is marketing? The process of strangers not only buying from who you are, but they keep buying. So essentially the process of getting clients, right? So that leads to the next thing, which is setting. Now, without this, again, there is no business. Without this core 4, there is no business. Because if you have all the leads in the world, generating all the leads that you can possibly, right, to your pipeline, and you're not correctly nurturing these leads, there is no business. That's just simple how it is. There's just no business because you're not booking the appointments. So what is setting? Pretty much, I'm gonna just copy this if I got the same font and everything. So what is setting? So setting could also be by the DMs. It could also be by the phone. It could be by dialers and DMs appointment setter. So what is setting? Someone who gets a lead and qualifies the lead for you before getting on a sales call. So yeah, that's pretty much it is. So it's pretty much. So one of the things that we do, since we're generating so many leads, is that somebody has to qualify these leads and book the appointments, right? So if you let the person book the appointment for you, you could do that, and then you have a process of elimination by applications or automations and stuff like that. But then you should really have somebody who call them and have like a 10 to 15-minute call with them to make sure that the lead is qualified. If not, you get a lot of high no-shows, you get a lot of pretty much a low closing rate just because the leads are not nurturing, right? Or the leads are not qualified. So pretty much qualifying the lead to book an appointment with you, right? So what is setting? Someone who gets leads and qualifies the lead for you before getting on the sales call. What this does, put it over here. It dramatically improves. One second, guys. It dramatically improves sales calls and show up rates, which is very important when if you're ready, especially if you want to scale to the high six-figure levels. You need to have this down, because the last thing you want is a bunch of leads just showing up to your calendar and none of them are qualified to make a purchase, and it's the worst. I talk to a lot of my clients. That's their current problems. Like, oh, I want high quality leads. Well, I'm pretty sure you first need to fix the marketing, and then you gotta fix the appointment setting. So that's another very, very reason why a lot of people are getting horrible leads. Number 3 will be sales. Now, this is again very important, because without any sales, you can generate as many leads as you want, and there is no business. So this will be the honestly, this two are the most important, to be completely frank. Like sales and let me see if I can make this shorter. Whatever. Sales and marketing are the most. Which sales is a form of appointment setting. I'm sorry, is a form of sales. But this is the most important. Without sales, if you guys have a low closing rate, I do have extensive, like on my community, my founders community. I have over. We could go check right now. What's the exact number? So we go to let's go to the sales. So we have over 22 hours and 30 minutes on exactly how to close credit and funding company at 6K, 10K, high ticket sales. So because without that scale of you closing people, there is no business. So what is selling? I would say, let me grab it from over here. So what is sales for me? I would say give me 1 second. Whoops. So what is sales? Okay, for me, sales is the process of giving, and excuse my grammar, guys. I'm horrible at spelling. What is sales? Someone put here, sales is the process of giving someone enough information that they can make a decision, for they can decide on. Wait, so sales is the process of giving someone enough information so the prospect can decide decide by themselves of you convincing them. So this is something that I had a problem with sales with a long time because I didn't really understand. Hold on, I spelled this incorrectly. Convincing. So for me, I didn't really understand what sales was. I thought sales was just me like trying to convince somebody to buy one of my products. I didn't understand that it was persuading. Now the difference between persuading, actually I'm already here. That sales is about persuading, not convincing. Okay, so what I wanted to say is that for me, I didn't know sales was the process between giving somebody so much information that they could make the decision on their own. I thought sales was somebody's about convincing. So what is sales? Sales is the process of giving someone enough information so the prospect can decide by themselves instead of you convincing them to join your program. Sales is about persuading, not convincing. All right, which that's what does when you give somebody enough information that they could decide by themselves, right? So without this crucial part, guys, like I'm telling you, if you don't have this skill of sales, I highly recommend it. Which if you're a bad salesman, you better be a very good marketer, which that's kind of what the kind of like the bucket I lay in, that I am a horrible salesman, but I become such a good marketer that like all the bad sales for me gets like almost like get blown away, just but I just because I understand so much what the need of my client is, since I understand my client avatar so much, my clients, because I am my clients 2 years ago. That's why I'm able to understand it so well. I was my client 2 years ago. I was a creator from the company stuck at 10, 20K months, and I couldn't scale because I didn't have consistent clients. I didn't have the right data to track. I didn't have the right systems. I didn't have the right employees. I didn't even know where to go. That's why I was stuck at a certain level. So that's why I cater to the people who are stuck at 10, 20, 30K months, because I know exactly how to get them to six-figure months. I've done it so many times. It's like clockwork now, right? So that's why my marketing is so good. Once my marketing is very good, sales becomes easier, which is something that we like to teach in our program, that sales is by marketing. Once you have very, very good marketing, then sales becomes easier. Okay? So that's that with that. So that's the next thing, right? So once we have marketing, we go into setting, then we go into sales, and then we go, which is the next thing, which is fulfillment. Now, this is something that I'd say to a lot of my clients, but they don't really understand, is that don't worry about fulfillment so much when you're first starting off, because it's the least ROI on your time. You need to focus 100% on getting the sale, because if you're generating leads and you're doing all this stuff, there's cost to it, and you need to start producing money as soon as possible. And I'm telling you, it's always easier to fix a problem with a power cash than you try to do everything with a little bit of money, with no talent. You're like overworked, and you're trying to outsource, but you try to outsource to somebody who's not pretty much not worth their salt. They might ruin your business. They might ruin your reputation. That's why it's so important to first do a couple sales. Even if you have to do your own fulfillment for a little bit, it's going to be a pain in the ass because you're not going to have enough time. Wait till you make a couple sales, and then with a power cash, you can delegate fulfillment, right? But then the last one is fulfillment, which is, I would say, the most important, because after you make the sale, because if you're not getting people results, there is no money. But again, the most important is always going to be you as a CEO and founder. It should be marketing and sales. Delegate fulfillment. I'm not saying don't focus on it. I'm just saying as a CEO, as a founder of your own company, focus on sales and marketing, right? This is the first, those are the two that you should, the last thing you should delegate is sales and marketing. And then the first thing you should delegate is setting and then fulfillment. I'm gonna talk about that real quick. So what is fulfillment? Getting your clients results. That's pretty much what it is. You know, like we don't need to overcomplicate it. We need to overdo it. That's what fulfillment is. What is fulfillment? Getting your clients results. Simple as that. So fulfillment, boom. Boom. Now fulfillment does lead back into marketing. And the reason why is because once you start having a lot of clients results, once you start getting a lot of testimonial, you put that back in your marketing, right? So that's why it's so important. So all these departments loop into each other and they feed into each other, right? Without the marketing, there is no sales. Without no setting, I'm sorry. Without no setting, there is no sales. Without no sales, there is no fulfillment. And then without no fulfillment, there's not going to be any marketing because you're not going to have any business because there's nobody you're going to market to. People are going to start talking, bad stuff about you because you're not getting clients results. You're not going to compound your retargeting campaigns. You're not going to call, pretty much they're all fitting into each other. Now, like what I was saying just about a minute ago, what should be the first thing to delegate? Definitely when you're here, this is the first thing you should be delegating, that you can by yourself. So let me put it right here. So by yourself, you can go from 0. Give me one sec. So 0 to 30K months. So 0 to 30K months. Actually, I done it personally to 40K months. No, I'm gonna leave it 30 because it's totally doable. 0 to 30K months. You can do it all, right? Actually, I'm gonna put this right next to it. Now, 30K to 50K plus every month. You're going to need an appointment setter, pretty much. You're going to need an appointment setter. There's like no if or buts. Like I already seen this too many times. Like the moment you get an appointment setter, you easily jump in revenue. You can be doing 20K months, and then you get an appointment setter, boom, you jump into 50s because now you have somebody solely focused on setting, which you need that. Like at some point, you need somebody just focused on the job. So I would say this will be the first thing you hire. So the first thing you guys do when you're already making 10, 20K a month will be, actually, I'm gonna put it on top. So I'm gonna put it right here. First hire, appointment setter. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of. So again, once you're doing 20. Yeah. So once you're doing 10, 20, maybe 30K months, this is the first thing I would do. I would try to hire setting because it's probably one of the most tedious job about this company, about the funding company. Well, pretty much any company that is generating leads and is doing booking a bunch of appointments. Appointment center should be the first thing to delegate. Then you move into fulfillment, which is I was telling you about. This should be the second thing you guys delegate. So second hire. So fulfillment coach. This I would start saying like 50K plus. You need to start getting a coach, I would say, because you're going to need someone. You need to hire someone to get your clients results that's not you. Second hire, fulfillment coach, 50K plus every 50K months plus every, I'm just gonna put months. You're going to hire someone to get your clients results. That's not you, because I actually spoke about this in a different video. Let me see if I find it here. Well, I put this in a different video. Actually, let me see if I could look for it real quick. Oh, here it is. Boom, the time problem. So once you're doing, I even put it here. Once you're doing 5 to 50K months, and you're doing, all your marketing, which is filming, editing, uploading. Then you're also handling maybe all the DMs. With your DMs, it's like kind of like your appointment set. It's kind of like your front desk, your virtual front desk, right? Then you're doing all your sales call, which is 4 calls a day, an average of 45 minutes. And then you're also doing some of your fulfillment, so you're pretty much getting your clients' results. Then your calendar kind of looks like this. You're pretty much working all day. You have your calendar 7, 8 hours, 9 hours, something you 10 hours. So you're just slammed with calls, and you could do this for maybe a week. I mean, a month or two, and then your brain starts turning to mashed potatoes, like I say, because you're in a meeting all day, and then if you can handle it, by all means. But at some point, I take my advice, and especially when you're doing at 50K months, 30K months, 40K months, around there, just hire somebody that could do fulfillment for you. You get me? Just outsource it, and I'm telling you, you're gonna thank me later. Now, then I will hire sales. You know, here's when I will hire sales. Third, hire sales team. So this, I would say 100K plus. So you're going to, once 100K plus, and this only if you want to go and you want to keep scaling. There's only one way, and that's pretty much bigger sales team. Build a sales team. And that's simple as that. Like that. I'm thinking what else I could say, but that's literally simple as that. Once you're literally doing 100K months, then I could even push it to 150K months. You need to start building a sales team, and then I would say when you outsource media buying, fuck man. I'm still doing my media buy. I honestly love it. It all depends. If that's not your strong suit, then maybe you can delegate it. I highly recommend learn as much media as possible and then delegate the marketing, because media buying doesn't take too much long a day. As long as you're doing the editing and the filming and the content creation, all that could take time. But once you're doing the ad media buyer stuff and you have all those things uploaded, it only takes about 5 minutes a day. I don't think it's too much time to put. So it's I will leave this as long as possible. Like once you start doing maybe 500K months for $1 million per month, and once your ad budget gets to a crazy level, maybe you're spending 10K a day or even less. It could be 5K a day. You better be knowing exactly what you're doing, so you don't want to make any mistakes. So maybe at that level, you can hire a big company to help you, or it all depends, but that's literally the last thing you do once you hire. First your setting, then your fulfillment coach, and then your sales team. All right. And again, just to go over, I think these are the four departments, right? This is pretty much the four things you got to focus in your business. One is marketing, then is appointment setting, then is fulfillment, well, then is sales, and then is fulfillment. And they're all pretty much loop into each other. And this is pretty much what I've been with this system is what I've been scaling my company. We're about to start touching the 500K months, but I've went from zero and touch over 400K with only these core for the departments, right? 100K. I'm gonna put months. 100K months. So again, I've scaled to 400K months using only these four departments and just keep scaling these four departments. A thing that I always learn from Alex Ramosi that like, when you're trying to scale, is what are the three things you do? And here are the top three things when you're trying to scale. First, we could look at more. So we could do more of what's already working. Then we could do better of what's already working, or we could do new. So this is the three things I look at when I'm trying to scale. And then I look at these things and I'm like, okay, if I want to scale, what can I do to maximize these four departments, right? And we can always do more of what already work or what's already working. We could do something better, or we could do it new. And that's just simple as that. And I love how Alex said it and how where he put it, because it's just so easy and simple to understand how to scale. Well, I mean, it's simple, it's simple, the framework. It might be hard to do. 10K months very easy, 50K months relatively easy, 100K months you're getting a little bit harder, than 300K months more management and work or whatever it may be. But it's just more, better, new. So when you want to scale, you be like, okay, do I want to do something more? And I'm always leaning to the more stuff, because I'm like, okay, I just got to do more of what's already working. How do I scale further past the point that I'm already at? And I'm like, I just got to do more marketing. I just got to do more appointment setting. I just got to do more sales. You get me? I just got to do, like, that's why I like the more aspect, because sometimes I rarely go to new. Now, actually, this year's when I started doing some new stuff. Like now we have the brand new YouTube channel, which is this one. Now we also have the founders community, which I didn't have a community before. I only had a high ticket. But just with this, let me organize this a bit. Right? So just with this, I'll be able to scale to almost 400K months by just doing more of what's already working. Then we go into better sometime. I'm always tweaking, but just think about this. Sometimes it's not always. That's why I built a 1% tracker that literally lets you know if you move your company, pretty much the lead to book call rate from 8% to a 9%, how you can make an extra like 50 to 100 grand by moving these percentages depending on the monthly ROI. I mean, the monthly revenue you're doing, right? So better, it's always a great way, but I'm always looking at it. The first thing is always more. So this is the first thing I'm always looking. Can I just do more of what's already working? Right? Because at time we haven't really maximized what we're already doing. So that's the number one thing I always try to do. Can I do just more of what's already working? Then I'll look at better for second. Can I improve on anything? And then on third, what I'll focus on is better. I'm sorry. Second is better, and then third is new. The new one is like, that's something that I'm doing now, like building the community, adding new products, adding new. I wouldn't touch this until you're already making some ridiculous number and things are working. For now, always duplicate what's already working, and then just change later on. Like duplicate before you iterate, right? So that's why I'm very big on the more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Then once the companies start breaking, then like for me, I needed to focus on better when it came to sales, because my team was averaging like around a 28% closing rate, which is pretty bad. It needs to be at least in the 30s, 35, 40s. Because then it's costing me too much to acquire a client, and then I'm, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. A lot of problems come. So like, it wouldn't necessarily do more sales to fix that problem. Now I need something new. I mean, better. I'm sorry. I need to be the team needs to be better. Another thing is, if you're having problem with fulfillment, which a lot of people do have problem with fulfillment, then that means you gotta do better fulfillment. You gotta focus on that part of the business and do better. Because if you're generating a bunch of leads, right, a bunch of marketing leads, and you're setting a bunch of appointments, and your team is closing them nonstop, but the fulfillment department is failing and they're getting bad results, this is ultimately going to shut you down. And yeah, you can sell your way to like 100K months, 200K months, 300K months, but you're not going to do that for very long. You better make a bunch of money and like disappear from the internet, because people are going to talk, and that's not going to continue, right? So there, you got to do better. You get me? You got to go back to your team. Hey, we got to be a better fulfillment department, a better this, a better that. Also, the setting too. The setting, I'm always looking at it. How can we improve the setting? But honestly, if if you get it down right and it's working, it's just more of that, right? So if you have an appointment setter that's already producing X amount of book calls a month, you just need more setters to do the same. Yeah, you can kind of tweak the system and make it better, which I'm always into. Like, how can we bring AI into this, or what can we add? How do we do reactivations campaign? How can we bring up a lead back from the dead? But honestly, setting is just more of it. Marketing, I think marketing falls into the bucket of new too, because I like to experiment a lot. So I will put marketing into the new. You always want to try new stuff, like if you see everybody doing the same ad, don't do the same ad. Something new. Always change something from it. This is actually one of the mistakes and problems in my program, that everybody tries copying each other, which I don't think is a good idea. I always say, hey, show more of you. Nobody could copy you, so show more of you, and that would itself be the new part of the marketing. So, think of new ideas, think of new things to say that nobody else has said before. What can I say that nobody else has said, or that everybody else has said, but in my own way? That's how I look at it. As in better, marketing can always improve. But again, if it's working, it's working. You get me? You can just crank up that more volume, and that always works for me. So that's kind of how I look at the 4 departments and how to scale them. Now, this is an oversimplified version. We can always just just hire too. Like, hey, how can I do more? More could just be hiring. It doesn't have to be like no super technical extra stuff. It could just be like, hey, I could just got to increase the ad budget. That's just more. You get me? So more could just be, hey, increase the ad budget. More could also be, hey, we need more setters. More could be, hey, we need more salesmen. More could be, hey, we need more client success coach. Okay. So again, don't overcomplicate this. Just like thinking like this, I'm able to scale to almost 500K months. We have some months that we did like 400 something, and then our average consistent is around 280 to 350, but there are some months that we've gone up and down. And I'm using these exact systems, which is very, very simple. What are my 4 departments, which is my core 4: marketing, setting, fulfillment, and sales, right? And how can I scale them? By implementing these 3 things. Am I going to do more of it? Am I going to do better? Or am I going to do something new, right? And I rarely... Number 3 is new. That's why I think when Alex Ramosi was coming up with the framework, he put 3 at last. He's like, hey, let's just full send more. Once the system breaks, which it will come to a breaking point, once you just more, it will break, right? And that's when maybe you gotta become maybe more of what, because maybe just cranking the ad budget is not working, but maybe you gotta be like, okay, we need more employees, we need more whatever maybe, right? Then it goes into better, because sometimes maybe the ads don't work at a certain budget. That happens a lot in marketing. Like, let's say you have an ad performing at $250 a day, and then you bring it to $1,000 a day. It doesn't start from performing. Giving more ads and more ad budget to it, it's not going to make it better. So what you need to do is either make the ad better, or make it a brand new completely ad that is way better than your previous one, so you can resist the current ad budget. Okay, so again, this is for anybody that doesn't understand about the core 4 of an online business, essentially, because this is not only for credit and funding company. This is essentially how you run an online business. You just need a marketing department, somebody who set the appointments, somebody who take the sales calls, and then somebody who fulfillment. And these are the 4 things you should mainly focus at. Again, if you're starting off, first with the marketing, then once you get leads going, focus on setting, then on sales and fulfillment, and then on order delegation. 0 to 30K months, you pretty much can do all of this stuff by yourself. You don't have to, you're just going to be overworked. You can even go as high as 50K months by doing everything by yourself. Then hire an appointment setter, then go get a fulfillment coach, then start building your sales team. And building your sales team could get you to the 300, 400, 500K months. Without somebody selling for you, it's very hard. You couldn't have to do it, but I'm telling you, focus mainly on the marketing. Just drive the traffic, drive the momentum, and let your team nurture the leads and do everything else. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you got a lot of value. Again, subscribe and like it if you did get value. And if you're looking for a community of like-minded individuals, of people who are just credit and funding company just in that niche, and you want to find out as much, like, I want more information about hobby. I already watched almost all your YouTube channels. I wanted more detailed information and more created, more curriculum, more like a course type of style. I do have a founders community. I'm gonna put the links below. You can click there and find out more information about it, where I have over 60 hours of information about this exact stuff. How to start, scale, and grow your funding company to 6-figure months by implementing these tactics that I've been using for the past 2.5 years in my own company, because I do own a marketing agency, and that's how I know all this stuff. But now I'm giving to you guys pretty much for free on the YouTube, and then I build a community for the people who want, more information, more templates, and more depth behind the information that I'm giving you guys on YouTube. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. See you on the next one. Peace.